Hello, hello, Ignacy Portal Games.
And this is the Podfather of Gaming, Stephen Bonacor. You are listening to episode 202 of Board Games Insider, and we're recording it on July 11th, 2021. Board Games Insider is a proud member of the Dice Tower Network, and Tom Vassell has defeated me. Sigh. The glory of the win went to Tom. The pie in the face went to me. Ignacy, it was a bad day for me on Friday.
I saw the pictures.
Have you? Okay. We'll talk more about that in a second because it was so sad. I'll talk about it in my life events because I have a bunch of great life events to talk about. But for the first time, I can say Tom was right.
I would disagree with you today that you not have been defeated. I would say that you both won because the whole crazy action basically was very smart, very good, quite educational, and I was really impressed. And of course, I was cheering for you. But basically, you both did something amazing, and I respect that really honestly.
Thank you.
Slavic, honestly, that you both did something super awesome.
Oh, I'm getting all the shills now. Thank you, Ignacy, for all of that. So one of the great things we're going to do in this episode, by the way, is we're going to announce the contest winners, right? We had that big contest that went on. We'll do that during the event deck because that's where we've been talking about it. Stay tuned to see if you have won a game out of the Portal Games catalog. In the meantime, Ignacy, what is happening over at Portal Games?
Over at Portal Games, we have opened pre-orders for Dune House Secrets, our new game that is going to be released at Essen. This is as usually with Portal Games pre-orders, a few weeks in this situation, 2 weeks process. Every single day we'll announce either a new item that you will get for free if you pre-order from us. This is like mini expansions or upgraded components, or any other a special dedicated game designer journal about the game, discussing how the game works, why it's interesting, what's new. So this is 10 updates for 2 weeks from Monday to Friday. So as always, we want to excite our fans about the product, excite them about the copy that they will receive from us, directly from us. So check out the Dune.portalgames.pl or just go directly to portalgamesus.com and our website, and you will find the link to the landing page, and you will learn about the game, what Dune House Secret is, and you will learn what amazing additional components you will get directly from us. As always, additionally, you will get this game a few weeks before the street date because it will be shipped from our warehouse directly to you. And Dune House Secret is, as you already know, our new iteration of the detective system. In this game, obviously, you are not investigator because this is a science fiction game. You are a rebel on Arrakis fighting Harkonnens, these dreadful bad guys, and you are a rebel trying to defeat them. So it's a completely different approach to the system. Once again, of course, lots of story-driven moments, lots of discussions, brainstorming, but completely different feeling and theme of the game. So Dune House Secrets, go to dune.portalgames.pl and check out the offer. We have 1,500 copies. Each of the copies is numbered. So you will have the nice thing in your library that you were one of these early adopters to the system. You were one of those who get this pre-order copy with your number.
I'm pre-ordering.
So I think it
I'm
will
going
be
to
a
pre-ordering.
nice gadget for everyone who loves Dune. It's not opening. It's opening tomorrow as we are recording.
Oh, it's not open yet. Oh,
but yeah. So this is
okay.
It will open on Monday, and we are recording on Sunday.
Oh, okay. I'm going.
So Dune House Secrets, 1,500 copies, numbered copies, and additional components, additional gadgets, mini expansion. So you will love it. As for the street dates, after many years of recording with Stephen, I learned something. So I know my street dates these days. I'm prepared. August 12th, Million Dollar Script, our party game that is that should have a logo COVID Go Home, because we use this game to tell COVID it's over. This is the game that works from 3 players to like 10 or 12 or whatever. You just divide into the teams and you have a blast creating a series scripts for the movies. We already have a gameplay on YouTube, which is hilarious, and I strongly recommend you guys to check out the gameplay for the game. The game, as I said, is releasing in a few weeks, very, very soon. $1 million script, and the one and the only Stephen Bonacor is running an event at Gen
Yes.
Con.
That's the most important part of this announcement is that at Gen Con, $1 million script will be played in a very special event. Luke asked me to be part of it. I was like, of course. And then I got all these extra people, all of my friends, mostly podcasters out there who are going to be playing with us. We're working on some other celebrities to join us. We're working on it, but it's going to be Thursday at 7 p.m. at Gen Con. You have to sign up for it. It's a ticketed event. It's probably $2 that goes to, I think, that goes to Gen Con. They get the money on that. But $1 million script, launch party, Thursday, 7 p.m. at Gen Con. Be there. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be silly fun.
I super appreciate Stephen being involved in that, but I would disagree that this is the most important. Like I would say, it's equally important for me to release the game and equally important for you to be a guest. Okay, let's make it like there will be no even if there is no street date of the game.
And one more thing about this game that I gotta like tout for you here, that the designer of the game, his name is Daniel Stam. He is a Hollywood director. He's actually a Hollywood director. He's got real cred. Daniel Stam. Go look him up on IMDb. And I've been talking to him on, in email. The guy's just like me. He's like exclamation points. He's like as interesting and is just like engaging. Well, as I think I am. Maybe I'm not to you. I don't know. But he's really cool guy, and he's so excited. So I'm going to be playing the executive who's going to be telling people, like, okay, what they have to do. And he's going to be on one of the teams, and there's going to be other people on the other team. And we're going to have probably a full scale, like all 10 people playing the games. Can't wait for this.
We need camera for that. We need to record that because I won't be at Gen Con, and I need to watch it.
He is going to have professional Hollywood quality cinematographers. Yes.
Oh my God.
See, you don't even know these things.
He's I'm not involved. Yeah.
You're not involved. I'm involved. He's gonna be shooting it for you, of course. But then he's gonna shoot it like for each of the participants is gonna have like a special cut just for them. I'm sure it's not gonna be 100. Yeah, he's gonna have multiple cameras. This is gonna be great. So you can come to a professional Hollywood cinematographic event, with us idiots. Or going on stage, so can't wait.
This is gold. This is gold.
Golden.
So proud. And it's hard to follow up with anything else. But I just came back yesterday from a 2 days retreat, a Portal Games retreat. I took the whole company, every employee. We went to the middle of the country, in middle of the nowhere, basically, to the hotel. And we spent 2 days training, of course, a lot of integration and people meeting each other for the first time because there was so many people we hired last year from different parts of the country. So they are working only in the Zoom, Skype, Discord mode. And now they had a chance to finally meet each other, play games, chat, discuss, and there was a lot of training, especially for the new employees. So great time. And great time for the first time see all the employees in one place. We took the photo for the company photo. Is impressive, amazing. So it was great 2 days for the company. And this is it, basically. Dune House Secret being the biggest news of the week and upcoming $1 million script. And the more I know about the event, I tend to agree that the event is even more important than the release of the game because this event sounds so cool.
I think it's going to be epically great. So over here,
now time for your epic tales of the last week because there was something interesting happening.
Very interesting over here at the Podfather of Gaming. The biggest thing. I mean, there's so many big things that happened to me over the last week. On July 4th, which is a big event in the U.S., of course, it's our Independence Day, and all the Americans go out and barbecue. I was at my brother's house for a barbecue, and my brother, his wife, my girlfriend Paula, and another good friend of ours, a couple, the Suarez's, they hand me a birthday card. I'm like, oh, that's very nice. What are they going to do? Take me out for dinner? I don't know. Something's going to happen here. They give me the birthday card. and it's all these jokes about me, of course. And then on the back it says turn over to the back. I turn over to the back, and it says you are here tomorrow, and it's a map of the Bahamas, and it's pointing to Nassau on the Bahamas. And they're like, yeah, you're going to be on a plane in like 16 hours. So go home, go pack, because we're going to the Bahamas for 3 days. So my lovely girlfriend, Paula, conspired with the rest of this group. My brother paid for the rooms. Paula paid for the flights. It was an amazing, I've never been surprised like that. I knew something was going to happen, but I thought Paula and I were going to like Miami, right? We're just going to, drive an hour, go to Orlando. I love going up there. I thought it was going to be something because she said, don't plan anything. Stop making plans for the next 3 nights. So we were there for 3 nights. We had a great time. We did all of the dumb things you would do in the Caribbean, which is eating, drinking, and gambling. And a lot of time in the pool and hanging out and talking. So fantastic time. Thanks to Paula and my brother, Greg, and everybody for helping out with that. Oh, and very important. By the way, this was my 60th birthday. Yes,
Happy
ladies and gentlemen, you heard.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday
Stop.
you.
Stop. So 60. I don't think I look 60, Ignacy. Do you?
Sir, I wish I have so much energy as you when I'm 60. Like you are a living ad of having fun in your life, and absolutely you're amazing.
Thank you. So, I feel great. I think I look pretty good, and life is good. Being retired now is great. So but at the barbecue, we celebrated with a small bottle of wine. Now you have to watch the YouTube channel to see what I'm holding in my hand right now.
This bottle is bigger than you.
It is big. It is way bigger than my head. This is a 6-liter bottle of wine, which is the equivalent of 8 bottles of wine. And there were only total of 7 of us that showed up, by the way. And it was actually finished over the course of the day. In wine terms, it's called either an Imperium or a Methuselah. If you go online and you look like what are the different bottle sizes of wine, 6-liter bottles, which are the equivalent of 8 standard 750 milliliter bottles, are called Methuselahs or Imperiums. It is ridiculously big, and I kept the bottle, and it's going to get on display someplace in my house. I don't know. You got to go look at it on YouTube. It's amazing. Okay, so I mentioned that I lost to Tom in the diet challenge. I went down to Dice Tower headquarters on Friday, right after I got back from the Bahamas. The next morning, shot down there. That part was planned. I was supposed to be down there to do our final. Eric Summerer was going to read off who won, and I lost by less than 1% because we were doing percentage of body loss. I lost 7.5% of my body weight. Tom lost 8.2% or something like that. He just won, so I got the pie in the face. You can check out the pieing either on the Dice Tower YouTube channel or come over to the Podfather of Gaming YouTube channel. I have the video posted by the time you hear this. Tom has finally beaten me in one of these pie challenges after losing 2 previously. So I'm now 2-1. That's the most important thing about this.
Once again, congratulations. I really respect that. That was really something special.
Yeah, and I mean, we like doing this, right? Obviously, we tease the crap out of Tom, but Tom and I love each other, and this is fun. It's fun for the fans to do this nonsense. So, and hey, losing weight is good. I'm going to stay on my diet. Yeah. I'm going to continue. I'm continuing my 10,000 steps a day challenge with my brother, which is obviously helping to get me into better shape. So all that's going to happen. Also played that game again. I think I mentioned it last time, called Distilled, which is on Kickstarter now. I think it should be still by the time this drops. I know it will. It's already funded. It's about making fine spirits. And we had a great time. We did it. That was a paid thing. The designer or publisher paid the Dice Tower for us to play the game. But I'm serious. It is an excellent game. It is very thematic for a Euro game. And it's about making whiskey, which is something near and dear to my heart. I like the game quite a bit. I backed it on Kickstarter. Thanks to Dave. Dave was the designer Really good guy. He was in the chat correcting our mistakes a little bit as we went along. Go down to the trips upcoming now. So I just got back from the Bahamas a few more days, and now going to Napa Valley to go see Corey Thompson from Dice Tower Now. Great guy. I really got to know him very well during COVID. He was always there at happy hours, and a bunch of friends are now meeting out at his house. He's got a big house in Napa Valley, so we're going to spend 5 days out there gaming. And then Paula and I are staying another 5 days, and I'm calling it the Podfather Food and Wine Tour. If you want to see any of what's going to happen, either I'll be posting it on Facebook, Twitter, or my YouTube channel. So check us out. It's going to be a lot of fun gaming, finally face-to-face with a nice big group of friends. Remodeling. What's been done? Floor tiles in, feature wall tile in, baseboard molding, electrical almost done, painting, bathroom tiles. Refrigerator and oven are finally installed. So we're waiting. The kitchen counters are in. Kitchen backsplash has to be put in. The stove has to be put in, the hood, and the front door. So we're almost done. The completion should be next week while we're away. So we won't even get to enjoy this because we're going to be in Napa Valley. But by the time we come home, the place is going to look pretty darn good. And we can actually live normally.
The whole remodeling went much more smoother than I expected. And I am so disappointed. There is not enough whining on your side on this. Like, I expected some adventures, nothing.
It would have made for better stories if it didn't go well. But
I expected that.
I am very happy that it went fairly smoothly. We had about a week delay overall, and mostly because things on the prefabrication, the manufacturing side, it's hard to get appliances. It's hard to get our front door. We ordered the front door 4 months ago. It just came in yesterday. So it'll actually be installed next week while we're away. Crazy. So it's the place is going to look great. Can't wait to start entertaining people. So some people out there might get invited over. Shh. Okay. The next appearance after that is at the Great Plains Game Festival, where, yes, Ignacy, I am the very special guest of honor.
I don't hear you. There's some problem with connection.
But I'll leave it at that because we're about a month or so away from that. I have to book my plane for that. Can't wait to be out there at a actual convention, smallish one, 1,500 people. But I've never been to Nebraska. My good friend Rachel Blassie is going to be hosting all of my things that I'm going to be doing, playing games with people, going to having beers with Bonacor, breakfast with Bonacor, all these great fun things. So that's it. Let's get over to the event deck. All right, Ignacy, drum roll. We have the winners of our episode 200 contest. So give you a little stats. First, we had 108 entries. Most of those were from the Guild, where questions were posted, 98 of those. And 10 were from Twitter, Facebook, using the hashtag. I randomly did this. I put it into, I think it was like randomnumber.org or something like that. And I said, I need a random number between 1 and 108. I did that 4 times, but the first 2, in case they don't contact us, I did 2 more. The first winner of a game from the Portal Games catalog is, and it was number 60, Lance McFarlane. He's a listener. I've seen his name before. He's at Lance TX12. And he posted something on June 5th. And he was the first winner. And a second winner actually came from Twitter. And he was number 104. And it's you said you knew his name, I guess.
Yep.
Curdy, but he's at Vitruvian Gamer on Twitter. And he had a great little video where he showed it was him and his baby. So it was absolutely adorable. These were fair picks, though. I did not pick it based on knowing somebody or the pretty video. Absolutely fair picks. So both Lance McFarlane and Curdy, if you can contact us, how should they contact us, Ignacy? What's the best?
Look at portalgamesus.com, send the email with which game you would like to get and what is your shipping address, and Luke and the rest of the team will organize everything. So easy peasy.
Okay, Luke.
And you just look at portalgamesus.com and you go to our web store if you need, of course, to check out our offer, what we have. So www.portalgamesus.com, and you will see if you want Empires of the North or Detective or Vienna Connection or whatever. Choose any game you want. There is no limitations. You just pick the game that you love, that you want to discover, and we will ship it to you.
That is very generous, Ignacy. Thank you, Portal Games, for doing that.
Absolutely.
That is very cool. And I will make sure that Luke knows this too. So he's not surprised by send me free games.
He
All
should
right.
listen to the podcast. Come on.
Does he listen to us? I guess he does. So, all right, let's get to some of the news of this week. We have some very interesting news. The first one is about a hire in the industry, but from a veteran of the industry, and that's Mike Webb. Mike Webb has been in the industry for the longest amount of time. And he's been hired now by Paizo as their vice president of sales and e-commerce. Paizo Inc. announced that they hired Mike Webb to become their new vice president of sales and e-commerce. Webb's appointment to this position will take effect July 19th, 2021. Mike Webb is an industry veteran that spent more than 20 years with Alliance Game Distributors. In his term as their vice president of marketing and customer service, he helped manage and grow the hobby channel's largest game distributor. Webb also was a longtime Gamma board member until his sudden resignation in 2021. I know Mike well. Mike is a really nice guy, very big pro hobby guy. I'm very happy that he's found a great place to go. Paizo being a phenomenal company, very large company. So kudos to both Paizo and to Mike Webb on this appointment.
Yeah, but having in your company somebody who work at distribution level, so he has so huge knowledge about the industry, about everything, how it works. Perfect choice.
Yep, absolutely. So here we go into some of the game convention news that are coming up. And the first one is, I guess we'd say bad news, that Asmodee is pulling out of not only Gen Con, we knew that already. It looks like you got the one about Gen Con here, Ignacy. I was hoping for the one about Essen.
My mistake.
But that's all right. We don't have the actual article to read. But however, what we'll do is we'll just talk about this. Asmodee, we knew was already pulled out of Gen Con, as well as Paizo and Ultra Pro, the three of the bigger companies that pulled out. Plenty of people still going to Gen Con. But now Asmodee announced that they will not be going to Essen, the Spiel, this year. Ignacy, you read at least part of the article. It was in German, the only one that we found. Anything that you pulled out of that? Because hey, you read German.
Yes, I
don't you?
Try to read,
a little bit.
I try to read German. Yes, that's unfortunate. We lost the link right now. Yes, I have it. The Asmodee Group cancels participation, and I will link it to Stephen immediately because we are.
Sadly, it's not going to. If it's going to be in German, I'm going to have a little problem reading
English, sir. It is in English. We are living in a great modern times. So here's a link. Click it, and you have the article in English and in German.
All right. So here we go. Of course, I have to accept cookies here. Okay. Come on, Ignacy. All right. Where is it? Okay. All right. Hopefully, Matthew will take out a few segments here where I'm going, All right. A list of 200.
It's a great live show. Come on.
A list of 232 exhibitors was published by the organizers of the Spiel in Essen at the end of last week, announcing there would be hundreds more. The signal was clear. The fair organizers around Dominik Metzler, she's the president of the Spiel, technically it's Meeresverlag, definitely want an in-person fair again this year, and numerous exhibitors wanted too. Almost all large and small German publishers appear on the list. Only one big player was missing, Asmodee, and with all its studios belonging to the group, and that is no coincidence. The world's largest game publisher will not participate in the physical show this year. Quote, events are very important to Asmodee and as a matter of heart. We can't wait to be able to participate again in small and large events where we share the joy of playing together and show our board games to the world, said Robin de Clure, PR and communications manager at Asmodee. He commented, or he or she commented, in a press release by the German subsidiary of the global publisher on Monday. And further, quote, in the still unclear health situation in 2021, despite increasing vaccination rates, we take the health and safety of our employees, partners, and players to heart. For this reason, we have made the decision not to participate with a booth at Essen for the Spiel this year. This applies to the Asmodee Group, the studios, and Asmodee Germany. So this means that games companies or brands like Lookout Games, Days of Wonder, Fantasy Flight, all of them will not be there. Ignacy, I think this is sad, but I think every company simply has to make its own choices about what they feel comfortable with doing. So
I was really surprised. I fully understand, and we as the publishers already have the safety regulations for the booth. I even contacted Essen and Dominic if we can already discuss them, but I was asked to wait for the public information for everyone else, so we will not discuss them yet. But in short story, like a spoiler alert, there is a ton of things that publishers needs to prepare to make the booth safe. And with a big group like Asmodee that has so many demo tables, so many games to play at the show, it's a completely rework of the whole concept of the booth. Because for the smaller publishers, they have just a stand, they just sell the games, they have maybe 1 or 2 tables to present the game. With Asmodee, you have like 200 tables and one just small place where you sell the game. So completely different approach to the show. And also I'm very, very sad because Asmodee was like 2 halls already, almost. They will be completely different Essen for sure. But I prefer to have Essen without the Asmodee or don't have an Essen at all, right? So yes, we have to just adjust and slowly, baby steps to get to the normal.
in a similar manner to the way we discussed it about Gen Con, this is going to give smaller publishers a chance to shine. So I'm still going to Essen. I'm happy that they're running the show. I want to see lots of the friends that I have out there. So we're gonna get together. We're gonna make this happen, with or without Asmodee. So let's see how it all happens. Here's an interesting one, right? So the UK Games Expo, they dropped all safety requirements, COVID-19 safety requirements, including masks, tests, and social distancing. UKGE will not enforce any requirements that are not legally required, as we do not believe that will be practical on the day. UKGE, the largest dedicated tabletop gaming convention in the UK, has announced that it will not enforce any COVID-19 health and safety requirements when it returns to Birmingham later this month. The board game event is set to return with an in-person convention following last year's cancellation due to the coronavirus pandemic. It was replaced last summer by a digital event, Virtually Expo. So Ignacy, so they're throwing it, and they're saying if it's not a legal requirement, they're not going to mandate it.
Yes, I read it. Yes, I read it like we are not going to do any extra mile. Like we do what the government says, and that's it. Like we don't want to do any more complication for the users to just enjoy the show. And of course, on one hand, it may be good. On one hand, it may be bad. Like this is very controversial. I saw many discussions on the Facebook groups, people discussing, hey, this is amazing, and other people, hey, this is not good. So
right. So I mean, in my opinion, and this is okay. Let's just drill a little deeper here. If you're vaccinated, feel free to go to the convention. If you're not vaccinated, don't go. I just feel that, I mean, maybe you can't be vaccinated. I'm not talking about like an anti-vaxxer. If you're an anti-vaxxer, you know how I feel about you. If you are not vaccinated because you can't be vaccinated, then just, don't go. That might be too much of a risk. I don't feel that there's a great risk to me that once I'm vaccinated. So I'm going to go. Not to this one. I'm not going to UKGE, but only because I've not been there in the past. I'll wait till next year possibly to go when it really opens up and everybody goes again. So that's the way I believe to look at it. But I think what's also now happened is that other companies now, right, are making some decisions about maybe not going, right?
after this announcement. So this is very just in case that after this announcement from UK Game Expo, a couple of companies said in that situation we bail off, and they explained that they are afraid about their volunteers, they're afraid about the staff at the booth, and they prefer to be safe, and they say, so we don't go.
Sure. And I think that is, again, a personal or a corporate decision to make. And I don't think I know the companies that were mentioned here. It's PSC Games, UK.
Oh, these guys, this is quite a big publisher who does. Now I'm compromission. I have a couple of their games, war games. There's quite a medium-sized company, and Hub Games from Michael Fox, who did also a couple of games. So these are like medium-sized companies, not like super small indie games. No, this is like a quite medium-sized companies that says no, we will not risk.
Got it.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I see Hub Games, as you just mentioned, and also Bad Squiddo Games. Those are the three that are specifically called out. They posted on looks like Twitter, each of those companies, and citing that they want safety first. So that's fine. I think everyone has to make an individual decision here whether or not it's safe for them and their employees, and who knows? And maybe some of their employees are immunocompromised. There are all kinds of reasons why that makes sense for them. Okay. Continuing, Gen Con had another similar story, it looks like. They
posted a new update because they are doing a very good job informing. So they are posting the blog post quite often, and there was the recent update on the safety.
And some of the things that they are putting here, they're reporting that based on recent results, a whopping 87% of the people responding to their polls said that they are fully vaccinated, and another 5% plan on being vaccinated by the convention time. So they're going to have, assuming people who are answering these polls are being honest, they're going to have well over 90% of the people fully vaccinated by the time of Gen Con. And they are changing their requirements about being in the show. They're saying mask wearing at Gen Con will be strongly recommended at all times indoors or in crowded areas. Mask wearing will be required at all times for all unvaccinated persons. So I assume that they will be checking vaccine cards. Kudos to them. Very happy about things like that. If you are vaccinated and prefer not to wear a mask, you may present your proof of vaccination and ID at one of our health check-in stations and receive a wrist bracelet indicating you are vaccinated. If you're wearing a valid bracelet, you are not required to wear a mask at Gen Con for the duration of the convention. If you have a documented medical reason that prevents you from wearing a mask or receiving a vaccination, you may present the medical documentation at a health check-in station as well. If someone has a medical reason that keeps them from both wearing a mask and receiving a vaccination, they will need to go to the special services desk to get their wristband. Those are the only people authorized to give out wristbands. So I think that companies, these big groups, are following the science and saying, vaccinated, you have a set of rules. Unvaccinated, you have another set of rules. I'm happy that in Indianapolis, Indiana specifically, state by state, that they're permitting people to, permitting companies and organizations to have mandated to have a vaccine card. That is a requirement to be vaccinated to do X. And if you're not, you have to do Y. I think that is a very good idea.
And just to close this very long segment on conventions and COVID, just this Thursday on the official Facebook page for SN, after the update from UK Game Expo and after the update from Gen Con, SN did the update on their Facebook page, and they said just in a very short information that they will require either you are vaccinated to come to the show, either you have your test that you don't have a COVID to be at SN. But as I said, the more general information about all the rules will be upcoming days. So we will wait for the official press release about that.
Right. Okay, let's get on to strategy and tactics.
And I
All
see
right.
that in the dates there are still the old ones from, so we are not catching up still.
We have not caught up yet, which is good, right? Otherwise,
Absolutely, yes,
it's fine.
absolutely.
It's fine. A question normally is relevant at all times, so why not? So we're still in some questions from 2019, and this is Bruno Baronet, who's at Baronet. Hi guys, I enjoy getting the news from your podcast. It's a great format and different from everyone else. Thank you, Bruno. My question is a technical one. How do you record the show being in two different locations? Sorry, something popped up on my screen there. How do you record the show being in two different locations? Of course, you are probably on the phone or Skype, but the sound is too good to come out of that. Do you record it on both ends and then edit it together later? Or do you have another system? Well, that's a great question. And most people who don't podcast, I guess, don't know that. But yes, to get the best sound, we have to record separately. We record our ourselves on using a free software called Audacity. We do that separately. And then we have the great Matthew Jude, our editor. He takes those two and marries those two pieces together and adds in the bumpers. Simple as that. On YouTube, probably.
I think he does it a bit more. Like he makes the sound equal because we record on different
Oh,
levels,
yeah.
etc. So yeah, let's give him a little bit more credit. Like he does some magic.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do the magic, nor do I have the patience to do the magic. He equalizes it and levelizes it, right? I mean, I might be louder than Ignacy, and
Correct.
or something might be a little bit crackly on one end. So he does all this magic to make us sound great together. On the video side, on the YouTube side for the Podfather of Gaming YouTube channel, where I post this video, which we just started, right, just fairly recently over the last 6 months, it's Zoom. We are on a Zoom call right now. We're looking at each other, and the Zoom call will record a video audio stream, and I take that and I post it up there. It's not as good quality audio, but it works for people who would like to watch us. I think you should watch us once in a while because Ignacy's a very handsome man.
Technically, if you want to see the show with all our mistakes, without them being edited by Matthew, you watch the video, and then you can compare
Right.
how much of the stuff Matthew just cut off from the show.
True that. Stephen Yu, who's at Plurpy21 on the Geek, says, if you have a game prototype that is based heavily around an IP, a movie in this case, what is the next step in attempting to secure the rights to publish the game? Would you go to a publisher who obtains the rights, go directly to the movie studio, or am I better off trying to make the game work with another theme? Ignacy, I'll let you take this first since you're working on a theme game right now.
Yeah. I cannot see the situation that there is a designer who has a game ready with a theme, and then he knocks to the movie studio and say, "Hey,
Right.
I'm an independent game designer. I designed this board game, and I want to use your IP." They will most likely throw you out of the stores.
That's right.
With our case, and that was listed in our press release, we have the agent. There's a whole company that connects a publisher with the movie studio. He represents us. He explained the movie studio what are the board games, why our company is legit, why we do a good job. Then of course, he does all the negotiations about how the artwork looks like and everything. Like there's a ton of things. So I cannot see, from my experience, a chance that a single designer or the small publisher will have a direct contact with the movie studio. This is from my experience.
No, that's exactly right. And in fact, when I was over at Stronghold, we were approached to do a major IP at one time. It didn't work out. It's hard to make the numbers work. Obviously, Ignacy did make it work, and that's great. And the person who owned the license to then sub-license, I guess you can say, right? It's an agent,
Correct.
right? That the studio, the IP holder, in this case, the Herbert Estate and Warner Legendary, right? Legendary owns the movie rights. They give rights to an agent to then go out and exploit that, so they make more money. The agent gets a cut, the studio and the Herbert family get a cut, and of course, the publisher, we get a cut. Yeah, if you have something, you're going to need to probably find a publisher that has that kind of connection. And they're usually the slightly bigger publishers. So that's the best way of going about it. Andrea Coletta, who's at Sherperman78. Hi, Ignacy and Stephen. I remember I started listening to the podcast around the time the first announcement of Toys R Us Troubles came out. It should be around 2 years ago, which now is like 4 years ago. My question is about legacy games. Stronghold Games announced Terraforming Mars Legacy. Did that actually ever happen? If I'm not mistaken, Portal Games has not announced any legacy game at this time. 1, do you think legacy designs work better if they are based on already known games? Why and why not? Not only from a pure game design point of view, but also from a marketing point of view. And the second part of that is, what examples of games in your respective catalogs that you think would be well suited for a legacy treatment? And a third part, what would be your perfect legacy game? So let me, if you don't mind, first thing is I let loose a thing about Terraforming Mars Legacy a long time ago, and I got in all kinds of trouble. As of when I left, that was not on any schedule. So I'm just letting you know, I'm sorry to everybody. It's not on any schedule. Things might have been talked about. That's all I'm going to say. When you do a legacy game, it should be based on an existing game if you're gonna create one. And why do I say yes? Can you do it from scratch? Yes. But look at the ones that have worked so far. They were based on a great design, and then they added legacy. Think about the one that did not do very well, though it had great hype. That was Seafall, right? It had this huge hype that came out, and then people played it, and I'm like, there's no game. There's not enough game. And that's a Rob Davio game, and Rob is a genius designer. So great legacy games are often based, or most of the times, and I think should be based on great game designs already. Ignacy, you want to comment on that?
So I agree and I disagree at the same time. I fully agree that if you're doing a legacy game based on the existing IP, on the day zero, you already have fans who are raving about the game, who cannot wait to play the game. They already love the game, and now in this new version that is legacy, and this is always exciting, always amazing, and they are going to create the hype, create the buzz, and do fun stuff. From the designer point of view, of course, getting a game like, for instance, Robinson Crusoe. I know the game very well. We have a lot of experience creating the expansions for the game, and then just tweaking and changing and making it a legacy game is absolutely a pleasure and fun time. So I absolutely agree. And that being said, there is a couple of legacy games that were done from the scratch. So there was nothing they were put on. Recent design from the last year, My City from Rainer Knizia, released by Cosmos. I think very good game. I strongly recommend everyone to check out the My City from Rainer Knizia. And this is the game built from the scratch on not existing game. The other example is The Rise of the Queensdale, also from Ravensburger. Amazing legacy game. I strongly recommend. But both of these games, My City and The Rise of the Queensdale, many of our listeners never heard about these games.
That's right. And neither have I. I was going to say, I don't know these games.
So Pandemic Legacy, everyone heard about that. The Rise of Queensdale, not that many people. And The Rise of Queensdale is an amazing game. So Stephen is absolutely right that this marketing push is so strong for creating a legacy game out of the existing one. I would disagree on the design. You can have a great design from scratch, but it will be so harder for you to promote.
Interesting way of looking at it. Any games in your catalog, I mean, you don't have to say you're working on it, that you think might make a good legacy game for the future?
Robinson Crusoe is an obvious choice, and I don't want to announce anything like
Stephen
did, but it is, I don't know if there is a word in English, like it will happen basically. At some point it will happen. And I'm not working on this. We are not working on the Robinson Crusoe legacy, but at some point in a year or 2 or 3, at some point we'll say, okay, this is time to do it. So because fans are accepting that, and this is so great for the story. So you are starting on the island, and you're literally building the shelter, and you're having a adventure. So yes, at some point we will do Robinson Crusoe Legacy, but we are not there yet.
Not quite yet. Stephen cites at New Board Order on the Geek. Are there any games you all looked at which you could have been a publisher on that you passed on and someone else published it and it became a big hit? The one that got away.
Yeah, we answered this question a
talked.
couple of times. Yes, as I said, I record the whole video only in Polish. I should maybe do it in English so people will enjoy that, to tell all these crazy stories about me making wrong choices, because this is a part of the job. Sometimes you make the good choice, sometimes you make a bad choice. And the famous example, I passed on Everdell, I passed on King of Tokyo, I passed on Clank. So quite a nice CV of games. We are talking about the Polish edition. So I had a chance to do a Polish edition of Everdell. I had a chance to do a Polish edition of King of Tokyo. I had a chance to do a Polish edition of Clank, and I said no. And my sales team wants to kill me.
Micro macro. I was not the final person making the decision because I was in the midst of retiring, but I'm like, oh yeah, we should do this, and it never came to fruition, sadly. All right. That's all for our questions. Let's get over to our playtesting segment. All right, Ignacy, my question, and I used the legacy as in the question there.
That's nice.
Yeah, see, I'm pretty smart here. I said, so what is your favorite legacy game? Or if you dislike legacy games, why do you? Ignacy?
So I love legacy games. I have a problem with them, and I guess this is true for many of us. So when you start a legacy game, you play one game, second game, third game, fourth game, you like it, but at some point you stop because life happens, and you have to stop. And then a week passes, 2 weeks passes, 3 weeks passes, and then you never get back. And I have a couple of legacy games that I started. I enjoyed them, but now I cannot get back to them because I don't remember how the rules change. I have all these stickers, everything is open. It is so hard, to get back to that. So this is a big problem with the legacy games. And now when I buy a legacy game with my gaming group, I say, guys, we played till the end. We don't get distracted. This is the only way to play the legacy games. And the 2 games I mentioned just a few seconds ago, let me say these titles once again. Both of the games brilliant. The one from Ravensburger is called The Rise of Queensdale. It was released in 2018, and this is a Euro game that is for the gamers. This is a heavy game. Lots of interesting choices. The great growth of the rules, the development of the whole system, great pace, like not too fast, not too slow. So we are still catching up with the rules, and they are still interesting for you, and the tweaks are very good. So the Rise of the Queensdale is the first choice, and the second choice is from the Rainer Knizia, My City. This one is a family-oriented, far simple. The one game takes like 30 minutes, super simple, go. And the whole My City, I finished the whole game, the whole legacy, the whole campaign in one weekend with Mary. We just loved it. We played one again. And in one weekend, we played all the 12 or something like that. A game is a brilliant job from Master Rainer Knizia.
And I'm going to go with a game that's some people argue is not a legacy game, but it obviously is a legacy game, and it's a genius game. And I've talked about it many, many times. It's Gloomhaven, which, by the way, breaks my previous answer when I said, like, you have to start with a great design and then add legacy. I'm fairly sure, I never really interviewed or talked with Isaac Childers about it, but I'm fairly sure from the beginning, he had a way of creating the system that had legacy built in. Tom Vassell doesn't think it's a legacy game. That's crazy. I'm sorry. Again, Tom is wrong. He was only right at the beginning of this episode. Tom, again, is wrong. Gloomhaven is a legacy game with so much game mechanics and genius and story, and it evolves. It's just great. And you open boxes and all this great stuff that you do in Gloomhaven. So by far, I would say it's got to be Gloomhaven as my favorite.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what arguments are when Tom says it is not a legacy game. I know that when I discuss with my friends here in Poland, when we discuss what's legacy game and what's not, we do this distinction what's campaign game. So there is an ongoing story and development of the story, and the legacy, and the legacy means that you're either destroying some components or writing on the components. So this is like we do this distinction. For sure, Gloomhaven is campaign game, and the question is if this is legacy or not. But anyway, it's an amazing game, right?
What you say? Wait, you just disagreed that it's not a legacy game? I'm stickering the board. I'm writing on the board. I'm
So
opening boxes to get new content. It's absolutely a legacy game. Listen, Tom Vassell. Listen, Tom Vassell. All right. Everybody out there, why don't you answer?
Create a thread.
Why don't Ignacy's going to create a thread right now for you to answer the question, what is your favorite legacy game? Or if you dislike them, why do you dislike them? And you can argue about Gloomhaven. Are you Team Ignacy and Tom?
No, don't put me in the team with the Tom. No. I just said there are campaign games and legacy games.
All right, just tell us if you like it. And tell us your favorite. Anyway, Ignacy's putting it there. Go answer the question. Let's get to final scoring. Another high energy episode. Thank you so much for listening. Help us spread the word about this podcast by telling your friends to download Board Games Insider wherever they like to get their podcasts. To ask us questions for our strategy and tactics segment, you must post them in the correct guild, in the correct thread in our guild on Board Game Geek. To answer our question to you from our playtesting segment, also go to our guild on Board Game Geek and look for the thread with this episode's question. Board Games Inside has a Facebook page, so please like us on Facebook. Also on Facebook, please like Ignacy's page and Stephen's page, which is /Portal Publishing and /Podfather Gaming. Our websites are portalgamesus.com and podfathergaming.com. Go there, sign up for the newsletters, and get up-to-the-minute information on what's happening at Portal Games and with the Podfather. On social media, speak directly to Ignacy and Stephen. We answer you on Twitter at Portal Games US and at Podfather Gaming. Same on Instagram. And on YouTube, the channels are Portal Games Movies, Portal Games Gameplays, and the Podfather of Gaming. We hope to see you soon as the convention season is coming back. And as we mention all the time, Board Games Insider is professionally edited by the great Matthew Jude from This Game is Broken podcast. If you'd like him to edit your podcast, please contact him on Twitter or email at thisgameisbrokenpodcast@gmail.com. Ignacy, any extra little bit of news for our listeners, our fans?
Just a reminder, dune.portalgames.pl, pre-orders. So you don't whine later that
you couldn't get
you
it.
Missed one. Yeah.
That's right. All right, everybody. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye.